Всем привет, меня зовут Евгений Орлов. В компании
Hi, I'm Evgeny Orlov from Positive Technology. I'm responsible for cybersecurity in industrial systems. And today, it's not a usual broadcasting from broadcasting studio. We went to the inner stage stand, our co-organizer, and we're going to show you how our products are protecting from attacks. I will be joined by Dmitry Avramenko. Hi.
Всех приветствую, коллеги.
Hello, everybody, dear colleagues. We've prepared for you a number of interesting cases, practical cases, and we're going to demonstrate them to you today. Every 10th attack, successful attack against organization, is against the industrial segment. That's what we see in our analytical report on important cyber threats in 22. And this is not surprising because with the growth of digitalization, there is no threshold between technological networks, and we see more and more into the perimeter of the technological segment. Different analytical systems are involved and risks are growing. Yes, Evgeny, you are right. Digitalization penetrates not only in corporate network, but also technological networks. Clients are implementing auxiliary systems wider and wider, optimization real time, management improvement systems. And in the last 3 years, we are facing the situation that systems are not staying local. They are being integrated to any auxiliary systems or directly into the corporate networks. Therefore, we see disappearance of the border between corporate and non-corporate networks. And very often we can see the situation when in the industrial platform there is no network segmentation. Everything is in ASUTP, controllers, printers, everything in the same network. And maybe there is a gateway somewhere in the security guy with the mantra, nobody needs us, tries to protect everything. Yes. I would like to show you our stand. We have deployed here a model system. It's the gas preparation unit. We use a fastwell Russian controller, Russian SCADA, master SCADA, which is deployed on Astra Linux engineering station on Windows, and 5 ICS platform, which protects all of these. Very popular setup today. You can see that it's an operational setup. And what are those? These are some executive devices. What kind of hardware? We've been modeling operations. This is all controlled from the control room, and it can be controlled manually here. And the SCADA system can also be managed here. Yeah, in the same way. You can close it, or you can open it. And you can open it, you can close it, everything works. Wonderful. Which scenarios are we going to show? We have prepared 3 scenarios today. The scenario number 1, it's a classical engineering flashcard, and I would like to invite our engineer. I will give him the USB key. The second one is a contractor who have seen these for the first time in his systems. And scenario number 3, it's a result of cooperation between these 2 scenarios when we try to investigate on what has happened in scenario number 2. Therefore, scenario number 1 is being launched right now. We're going to discuss it right now. The situation is a very simple one. Engineer in SCADA, by solving his problem, he went to the vendor, he went to some forums. The colleagues helped him and told him that there's a wonderful file that you can download, you can launch it, and it will fix your bug. So our engineer is doing just that. Launching of this file can lead to very negative consequences, and we are going to show it within the first scenario. Usually, access to internet is not available in technological networks. So that's why they use USB key. But my question that I have, was it an invented scenario or is it a real scenario that employee comes with his own USB key? Well, they don't come with their own USB key, but they have used either their office place to download this file, because from engineering station he doesn't have access to internet, or maybe they've used their own home computer, because according to the policies in the company, he cannot download files. So he brought this USB flash to the security admin. It was checked. They said there's no vulnerabilities. But we are going to show you that file which looks safe when it's being launched in the proper environment, it can lead to very negative consequences.
Давайте тогда
Wonderful.
посмотрим.
Мы, наверное, уже
Let's
можем
see.
обратиться к нашему.
So now we can look at our screen where the defense has been deployed. It's PTI SIEM, which registers events coming from the arm of engineer where these,
Здесь мы видим, по сути, сетевой сенсор.
file was launched. So you see the network sensor, which sees all the connections, unauthorized and non-standard for this network, right? Yeah.
Вот, но
Да, вот вы уже видите, что очень
Yeah, you can see here that there's a lot of attempts of this script to get connection with the internet host.
много файл.
So this malicious file, not our file, but the file that was given to us, tries to get connected to the command and control center to transfer the management of engineering station to some criminal
И подкинул на этот форум.
who delivered this file to this USB flash card. So the system shows all the connections, but if this would be an encoder, according to our reports,
проводчиков вообще во всех
the number of encoders in the industrial network reaches 60% and higher.
быстро.
So then you would have to act very fast. So it's extremely important to have sensors which look at technological traffic in the network and understand it.
Плавно перейдем
Yeah.
к второму сценарию.
Okay, let's move to the scenario number 2.
Подрядчик,
Our
который
wonderful contractor
проведение,
who was called to the facility to do the maintenance operations,
который
he sent his own employee who never seen these facilities with his own eyes. He received a list of passwords and documentation, and right now he will try to fix the problem that the client had. The client should configure some small
технологической сети
hardware device in the technological network. So they've called a subcontractor to provide services to these,
подрядчик
and our wonderful subcontractor will make an attempt
используя стандартный пароль,
of using standard passwords
оставляет на объектах.
which organization uses for the facility, and it's not going to work because the list of these passwords is about 10 of them, and none of them will be applicable.
Коллегам начнет
He will start calling to his colleagues. He will try to install additional soft in the engineering station
этот пароль более
in
эффективно.
order to be able to find it more effectively.
На самом деле сценарий тоже
Yeah.
жизненный.
It's a very normal scenario
Внедряют очень большое
when
количество
contractors do maintain a lot of facilities.
импровизацию
They start
паролей.
improvising during the password generation, or the client tells them,
Делайте пароль 1, 2, 3, 4, придумайте.
don't make a password 1, 2, 3, 4. Do something more interesting, admin. And they start inventing passwords
Отличающиеся.
which are a little bit different. And then they give this list of passwords to each other.
Какие пароли они используют.
Which pieces of hardware, which passwords use.
Инженер будет пытаться сейчас
So our engineer will try to solve this problem and how to get inside of the controller that was frozen.
Нашего экспертного центра
Well, the analytics of our expert center
подрядчиков
of attack to the
прям
clients.
это вот то, что
Well, it's a trend, and this is something that will develop in the course of this year very actively. Yesterday we've discussed it, and regulator does confirms to this that this is very dangerous attack because it comes from the perimeter, not from outside but from the insider.
на экране. Какое у нас развитие?
What do we see on the screen?
у нас уже появился вредоносный.
So we see the malicious host, which never existed in our system.
Появилось два. Видимо,
There are even two hosts.
подрядчик инженер
Perhaps our contractor uses some other virtual machine inside.
Да, важно здесь,
Okay.
что система
Yeah,
позволяет
what is important is that system allows you to visualize everything.
список своих
Because if you don't see
свою сеть, да,
the list of your words,
ее защитить. Ты не знаешь, что
how can we approach defending it if you don't know what's happening with it?
на объектах СУТП часто то, что внедрено и настроено,
And SCADA objects are very different from what was designed initially
и
in
опять
their final execution.
а,
And coming back to statistics,
видеть, что у
it is important to see what happens in your network.
живет. Вот
And you should know who lives in your SCADA, inside your SCADA.
как показывает опять же
Because as we can see it from the research, more than 100 days a year, criminal will not be detected in the network, and solutions as intrusion detection centers, they allow us to
решать.
solve this problem as fast as possible.
Technology
Our expert positive technologies center does analyze the situation with cyber threats,
Было одно любопытное
and it was
обнаружено заключение, что
Interesting conclusion discovered that three-quarters of all the proposals in web related to the industry, they are related to selling access. So basically speaking, some criminal in such a way breaking into the technological network and getting a stronghold there, he will not do any steps to destroy this technological process. He will sell this access to some activists or to some more experienced hackers so that they would be able to realize these inadmissible events. So in order to not allow the inadmissible events realization, as early as possible, these attacks have to be detected and you should react to them also ASAP. And networking sensor intrusion detection center helps you to do just that.
У нас здесь
Yeah, you can go to the CM interface.
из первого сценария.
We see events from the first scenario here, and we see events which just came from the
Вот вы видите, что
contractor.
хотели события.
You see that we have events of unauthorized access to controller.
Сумел
It have tried and it was able to get authorized on the controller by brute forcing the passwords.
запрещенные утилиты.
Started using prohibited utilities. In a given case, they've launched InMark
Станцию
and they've tried to define which station is the engineering station because immediately he didn't have the access to it.
как раз уже, можно сказать, практически переходим к
So we can say that practically we go to the third scenario when we try
в обратную.
to go in a reverse direction from ICM to products. And here we see
система класса
that in this scenario, we use a CM class system. It collects data from hosts, controllers, working stations, in addition to the information that was defined by the network of the sensor. All this information is stored in one place, and the security guy can build the whole attack chain. There's an incident, and how the criminal was moving through which nodes, which tools were used, legitimate or hackers tools,
происходило. И в третьем,
and how this was happening in scenario number 3.
скажем так, разматывание этой атаки
You will see the deployment of this attack chronologically.
В один из инцидентов
Yes, you can drop down inside of any of those incidents, and you'll be able to see
в продукте, который этот
in
инцидент,
the product,
что же было.
this product was transferred to us by SIA.
Ну, в этот момент я вижу пока контроллер еще зелеными лампочками.
Right now, I see controllers are still green.
Вот, да, он
есть
пока
It's still alive.
Подбирает там разные.
And hacker
То есть
thinks about other tactics.
летел с...
So this incident
Можем как раз
came to us from ICM. We can go to ICM, and you'll be able to see
этим инцидентом.
what is related to this incident, especially the event.
Ну вот, собственно, есть у нас
Неавторизованный доступ к ВЛК.
Доступ.
Unauthorized access
изменение
to
файла.
FTP file changes. So our criminal have already got possibility to go to the file in the controller,
Он будет
and right now they will try to apply changes to it,
необходимо сделать по проекту.
changes which have to be done according to his project, and then we'll hope that it will not create any mistakes and will not stop our technological process. Yes, in the corporate network, what is being protected? We protect information, business processes.
Утечки часто мы видим
Leakages, very often we see
именно в корпоративном бизнес-сегменте.
in corporate business segment, but in technological networks.
Внизу у нас стоит контроллер, который управляет
At the
некими
bottom, we have a controller which controls technological processes.
разными счетчиками, которые
With
измеряют
different counters, measurement devices,
внести
and
изменения,
if you'll apply changes here,
с первого
maybe unnoticeable changes, but you can significantly change the technological process. And it did happen when
в холодильном на всего
by lifting the temperature in a storage by half a degree or 1 degree,
сотни тысяч.
you can lose a lot of products.
Не обязательно техногенная какая-то катастрофа, это может быть просто
It can be not a technological catastrophe, but it can be some other violation.
Неосторожные действия
And what do we see? Well,
подрядчика
uncareful actions of our contractor has led us to the situation that our technological process was halted. We have no connection to controller. We have lost local control, as you can see, because PLC program was deleted and we cannot manage it both remotely or locally.
да.
Сейчас нужно восстанавливать
Right now, you have to restore this system.
бэкап.
You have to
Если он делал,
search
да,
есть.
если
backups if they're available.
восстанавливать этот объект, Этот
and restore this object.
кейс, третий, да, он и
It's
показывает,
the case number 3, which shows us
поймали,
that if we didn't catch the criminal on time,
не обнаружили, то, соответственно, последствия могут быть.
the consequences can be very, very damaging.
Все-таки виртуальные...
Yes, it's virtual, invented, but really realistic scenarios that we have observed on this stand.
Они говорят о том,
Scenario number 1 and 2 tell us that
все угрозы исходят снаружи.
not all the attacks, not all the threats are coming from outside, from the perimeter. And protecting yourself by the network, brand malwares, or by not allowing external data inside of your service, it's not
Эту
one
технологическую сеть, эти установки.
door solution. You need to use a lot of different solutions as well. Like if it's oil and gas or digital substation, or maybe digitally controlled machines. In order to protect all of these,
Которые сидят в
you need to have a solution sitting in this network and which monitors the whole traffic, the whole actions, and informs the security guy that something is happening here.
Самое важное, чтобы были все-таки регламенты на местах, чтобы безопасники тоже
And
понимали, что у них
security people, they should understand what is being done.
собственно,
They should speak with
за процесс.
computing systems and processes.
У вас происходит с таким-то контроллером, у вас
And you can say that something like this happens with this controller, try to fix it.
они позволяют
And PTICS solutions allow us to collect all this information from different sources,
отразить все вектора.
different points, and withstand all the vectors of attack. These three scenarios that we've looked at this stand, well, during the PhD, we have also standoff cyber fight. We have approximately 30 controllers out there, several dozens of
Команды опытных хакеров
teams, and look how the experienced team of hackers breaks the infrastructure of Big F,
в том числе от компании
And-
Nestle защищают эту инфраструктуру. Вот. Я
how they protect their infrastructure.
сенсоры eSIM
I know that
сигнализируют
eSIM sensors
там по
do provide that they are scanning to other different protocols and define.
инфраструктуре. Вот. Смотрите,
So please watch us, read. Thank you.